Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks, buckle up, because what's happening in the NFL right now, especially with some of the biggest teams in the league, could have ripple effects that reach all the way to Lambeau Field. And no, I'm not talking about the usual off-season chatter or draft rumors. We're talking about a blockbuster move that could shake up the NFL landscape. Specifically, the Green Bay Packers and their division rivals, the NFC North. You see, the Jets, a team that's been looking for stability at quarterback, just made a bold move that might seem controversial at first glance but could be a game changer. Let's back up a bit and set the scene. The Jets, under their new head coach Aaron Glenn, are clearly trying to find their footing, especially at the quarterback position. They brought in Justin Fields in free agency, hoping his athleticism and potential could be the answer. But as training camp has gone on, those hopes have been a bit dampened. Justin Fields has struggled quite a bit, completing only 8 passes out of 32 over the last 3 practices, with no touchdowns and an interception. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. He's got upside, he's got talent, and sometimes it takes time to develop. But in the NFL, time is a luxury teams don't always have, especially when your team is trying to contend right now. And if that wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, there's more. Tyrod Taylor, another veteran presence in the Jets' quarterback room, is now dealing with a knee injury. The team is still evaluating the severity, but the fact that he's hurt adds yet another layer of urgency. The Jets, it seems, are feeling the pressure to add more options, more stability to that quarterback room. That's where the rumors start swirling about Malik Willis. Yes, Malik Willis, who, despite a tough start to his career, showed flashes of promise when he had to step in last season. Now, here's the interesting part that ties directly into the Packers. Rumors are swirling that the Jets might look to trade for Willis, especially if they're not happy with what they're seeing from Fields, and if Taylor's injury turns out to be more serious than initially thought. And let's be honest, that's not just idle speculation. The Jets have a history of making bold moves, and with a new coaching staff eager to make a splash, a trade for a young, athletic quarterback with upside makes a lot of sense. But what does all of this have to do with the Green Bay Packers? Well, if you remember, the last time the Jets tried to make a splash at quarterback, they went after Aaron Rodgers. And that move, despite its complexities and the negotiations involved, was a sign of how desperate they are to find stability under center. Now, with Rodgers gone to the Jets, the Packers find themselves in a different position. Jordan Love is the unquestioned starter. He's the guy that Green Bay has been preparing for since they traded up to draft him. And honestly, Love looked pretty impressive last season, showing flashes of that potential that made him the future of the franchise. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Packers, with Love already entrenched as the starter, might be willing to part ways with some of their quarterback depth if the right offer comes along. And that's where the rumors about trading for Malik Willis come into play. If the Jets do decide to pull the trigger and trade for Willis, it could open the door for the Packers to receive a valuable player in return, or even draft capital that could help them strengthen other areas of the team. Now, let's talk a little more about Malik Willis. For those who might not be fully familiar, Willis had a somewhat rocky start to his NFL career, but last season, he showed significant signs of improvement. When he had to step in for Jordan Love, remember, Love was injured briefly, Willis managed to throw for 324 yards and 2 touchdowns in just 2 games, with no interceptions. That's not bad at all for a young quarterback still finding his footing. Furthermore, he threw for a total of 550 yards and 3 touchdowns in games where he came in to finish them off. What's really intriguing about Willis is his athletic ability. His rushing skills and mobility are among the best at his position, and that kind of dual-threat capability fits perfectly into today's NFL. So, if the Jets do trade for Willis, it's not just about adding a backup quarterback. It's about adding a player with a lot of upside who could, in the right situation, develop into a starter. And for the Packers, acquiring Willis could be a smart move. It would give them a young, talented backup who can run and throw, and that kind of versatility is highly valued in today's game. Plus, with Jordan Love firmly established as the starter, Willis could serve as a reliable backup, ready to step in and keep the offense moving if needed. Now, thinking about the bigger picture, this potential trade scenario isn't just about one team or one player. It's about the shifting dynamics in the NFL. The Packers, having already moved on from Aaron Rodgers, are now in a phase of solidifying their roster around Love. They've shown patience and confidence in their young quarterback, and that's a smart move considering the development curve for NFL quarterbacks. But if the Jets, with their new coaching staff and their desperation to find stability at quarterback, pull off a trade for Willis, it could indirectly benefit the Packers by setting a precedent and creating a market for other young quarterbacks. This ongoing saga also highlights how unpredictable and fast-moving NFL trades can be. The league is all about chess moves, and right now, the Jets are making a bold pawn move, possibly trying to secure their future at quarterback. Meanwhile, the Packers sit in a different position, confident in Jordan Love, but aware that the NFL is always looking for the next young star, the next dual-threat quarterback who can change the game in a flash. It's this kind of strategic thinking that makes the NFL offseason so exciting for fans, especially those of the Green Bay Packers, who are watching all of this unfold with keen interest. The Packers' future looks bright, especially with Jordan Love at the helm. He's been showing steady improvement, and last season's performance gave fans reason to be optimistic. But always remember, the NFL is a league of adaptability and quick moves. If the right opportunity to upgrade their quarterback room arises, Green Bay won't hesitate. They've been patient, they've been strategic, and they've built a team with a solid foundation. The potential trade for Malik Willis isn't just about filling a backup role, it's about adding a dynamic weapon to their arsenal, someone who can push Love in practice and be ready to step up if needed. And let's not forget the overall division implications. The NFC North is a competitive division, with the Lions, Bears, and Vikings all making moves of their own. The Packers have positioned themselves well, but the league is always evolving. That's why moves like these, trading for a young quarterback like Willis or even considering other options, are so crucial. They can shift the balance of power in the division and set the tone for years to come. So, as we follow this story, keep in mind that the NFL offseason is full of surprises. The Green Bay Packers are in a unique spot, confident in their present, but always looking ahead to the future. Whether they end up trading for Willis, sticking with Love, or exploring other options, one thing is for sure, they're not standing still. They're strategizing, evaluating, and preparing for the next chapter in their storied franchise. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Do you think trading for Malik Willis makes sense? Are you confident in Jordan Love, or do you think the team should explore other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. We're in an exciting period of transition and growth, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this iconic franchise. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Pack Go!